Hi, Doc Bernie.
Hi, Jigo.
Hi, good afternoon, Doc. How are you?
Yeah, tell me more about the audience. How many of you?
ah, yeah. Actually, we're expecting, yeah, yes. Sorry, there's a bit of a delay.
Yeah,
Uh,
will the fathers be joined by the mothers or just fathers?
bo-
Both
both fathers and mothers.
there, and I suppose you will have also parents of Southridge, no? Because there are people who are both Woodrose and Southridge, no?
I think both.
Yeah. Okay. So I just wanted to know more or less the
Yeah,
composition because I'll mention something about Paref and okay.
yeah,
Uh, so, uh, approximately how many do you expect to attend?
yeah.
Would you have an estimate of the number of people?
Actually, right now I'm setting up the YouTube streaming also because 120 yung last registration, Doc, eh.
Wow, that's a good number. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good number. Good. Yeah. At the end, I will ask, of course, the permission. I'm going to talk to them about the textbook in economics that we have just come out with.
Yeah.
Parents may be interested in reading, plus recommending to Woodrow's and other schools the textbook. So, because economics education is a very important part now of the educational process. No?
Yeah.
Will you be sharing the PowerPoint? You'll be the one to share it?
Yeah, yes, Doc. Yes, Doc. Doc, are you hearing any there's a delay or lag or something?
No, I can hear you well.
You can hear me well.
Yes.
Yes, I yes, Doc.
I'll just give you the signal to go forward. No? Next, I say next. No?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Here. So this is how it will come out.
Okay. Yeah.
Mm,
Better just show them the PowerPoint.
yeah, and then this one, and then
Yes.
sunod-sunod na. Yeah.
Okay. Perfect.
I'll introduce you first. Uh,
Okay.
yeah. Mm-mm.
Very good.
Yeah. Mm, mm.
We did not. We did not invite the students. No, the students will not be around.
No. Yeah, but it depends kasi sorry, there might be some of them might actually
Also,
attend also. Yeah.
tell them about the importance of economics education because
Yeah. Yeah.
something they have to take seriously now.
Oo. Uh,
Thanks,
yeah.
thanks a lot for the milk that you gave.
Walang ano man, Doc. That's my friend kasi he's a part of Arla, and then good thing he talked to me. Yeah, he talked to me about it.
Yeah,
Uh,
especially now there are so many people who are unemployed and really people are suffering.
mm.
They need as much food. Uh, as you very well know, the community pantry has spread like wildfire. You know, it started in Quezon City. Now it's all over the Philippines.
Mm.
But uh,
Yeah.
but the food
I
bank is a long term solution. So they
yeah.
keep it.
It's a good thing, Doc. I attended your get together one time with us sa Corso. You talked about food bank. Yeah. Oo. Mm.
So tell me, Fermin, what is the Jingo? What is the schedule you have? You want me to talk for 30 minutes and then
Yeah, kahit 45 minutes, doc. And then the rest of the the rest of the
question and answer, no? Uh, Open forum.
open forum.
Yes.
Yeah, pwede. Pwede.
But
Oo, pwede, doc.
but you
Mm.
don't have a limit to your Zoom. You don't have a limit to the Zoom.
No, 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 no. There's no limit. Actually, it depends on your schedule, doc, kung how long.
So this will expire. So I'm
No,
assuming.
no, 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 no. I I I can always extend it. No, there's no limit.
Okay.
Yeah. Now I realize why I'm hearing a lag. I'm yeah, yeah. Yeah.
No, I
Yeah.
hear you. I
I'm
hear,
hearing a lag, doc, kasi I already live stream ourselves in YouTube.
mm,
So I'm hearing both the YouTube and yourself and ourselves. So right now we're live in YouTube. Mm, we're now live in YouTube.
so you're
Uh,
you're very used to all this online
uh,
seminar.
Actually, bago lang, doc. I'm just somebody just taught me how to do it, so
Yeah,
I'm trying to
good.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think this will be already a permanent part of our work.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Uh,
Well, you guys in the course of studies, all of your classes are online.
yes, doc. Yes, doc. I'm year 1, so yeah. I mm, uh,
Are you in agriculture yourself?
no, doc. I'm actually I'm into sales and well, consultancy now, logistics, selling, yeah, mostly.
There's a growth area,
Yeah.
logistics.
Mm. Mm.
What products do you sell?
Well, before I was with Procter. Well, I started my career in Procter and Gamble talaga.
What is
Way back, way 32 years ago.
background?
uh,
Started
oh,
as a brand manager
you were a brand manager?
way back, more than 50 years ago.
Wow, I didn't know that.
You know what I
I,
Tide, and
Tide. Oh, oh,
at that time,
oh,
there was a product called Gleam
oh,
toothpaste, but
oh, oh. My yeah, Tide Mist. Oh, my wife actually is a brand manager also. Was a brand manager. I met her there. That's where we met, and then we became husband and wife.
good. I
Yeah.
know of similar couples also
Mm,
meeting in Procter and
mm,
Gamble or Unilever.
mm. Actually, what do you call this? I right now I'm doing logistics consultancy and selling. So
Good,
I help this small company look for clients.
good.
Oo. Mm.
Well,
Selling logistics service.
yeah. Well, that's the sunrise industry right now.
Yes.
Everyone
Yes.
depends
Yes.
on delivery and
Yeah. Yeah. It's a challenging one though, Doc, kasi I think parang there's a lot of big players, pero because of the economy,
yes,
parang nobody wants to shift yan or something.
yes, yes.
Yan. So I'm letting in Joseph Esguera. He's part of my team. Uh, part of the team.
Hello,
Joseph,
good afternoon po.
Oh, good
uh,
afternoon, Joseph. Yes,
Hi, good afternoon.
afternoon.
Linggo.
Good to see you guys.
Ayan. Thank you po sa
Joseph.
pagpapaunlak sa amin.
Jo-
Now,
yeah,
Gene,
Joseph.
I also have a selfish interest. I'm going to talk about the textbook.
We used your textbook, Doc,
Uh,
nung college.
where did you go for college?
Ateneo, Doc, Ateneo. Oo. Okay. Uh, Joseph,
Yes,
can you hear my another lag? May lag ba? May narinig kang lag? Wala.
meron konti. Pero it's okay lang. Basta tuloy-tuloy lang yung ano mo, yung
Oo. Kasi nakabukas, Joseph, yung live stream natin.
okay.
So I
Good. That's good
already
news.
yes, I already copied it. I copied the streaming link to the
Okay.
chat box
All right.
in the waiting room.
Okay.
Oo.
That's good. Kasi
Oo.
po, that's good news. Kasi po,
Mm.
Bernie, may mga 150 yung signify that they will attend.
I'm glad that we can reach
Oo.
audience. Good.
And then, ang profile around, half, nangyari kalahati ay, yung parents, yung kalahati, friends of pare.
Paref. Oo.
So basically, they invited their friends to come.
That's so good. Okay.
Yeah, this is the biggest attendees that we'll be having. This is our second second talk sa forum.
Good. So I'm glad
Ah.
that you're reaching a wider audience.
Yeah. Joseph, I'm getting confused kasi I'm hearing myself twice. Kasi nakabukas yung live stream tapos nakabukas din tayo.
Oo.
So, parang delayed yung sinasabi natin.
I see. May type
Oo.
pala ako dito.
Ano pala, Joseph, I'll send you the link
Sige.
if you want para you can see it. Yan. I already sent the link to the waiting room.
Okay.
We have 10 people in the waiting room right now. I'll make you co-host.
Sige, please.
Mm.
Waiting room.
We have 10. We have 10 pa lang. Si Anthony pala nandun na. Sorry. I'll admit him. Joseph, you will play the PowerPoint of yung
I-test ko
i-test mo. Sige. Wait, I'll let you share screen pala. Okay.
Let me see. Where is not there? Share screen. Yeah.
Anthony is already in.
Share. I'll try to.
Yan. Okay.
I'll try to play it. Can you see my screen now?
Yeah, I can see your screen.
Try ko
Play
lang
mo.
siya i-play and then give
Play
me
mo.
a feedback kung tama yung
Sige.
volume. Can you hear yung sound?
I can hear it. I can naman.
How is it coming across?
Okay naman.
Not too loud.
Not too loud.
Okay.
Naka-share sound ka naman, ano?
Alright, sige, stop ko na. Alright, that's good. Tapos, stop. Share. Okay.
Magpapapasok na ba tayo, Joseph?
Oo, we start na.
We have 9 in the waiting room.
And then you will do the recording later.
Oo, later na lang pagka siguro nag-start na.
I suppose you will mute them during the briefing so that we don't get feedback.
Yes, Doc. We'll mute them. Mhm.
Yeah.
Woodrose, grade, Basimite, grade 9, grade 7. All right, that's it. Mm,
YouTube.
mhm.
Ay. Ano, Joseph, you're okay?
Yes, okay na ako.
Okay. I figured out, my wife figured out for me how to not get distracted. So, i-mute ko lang pala yung YouTube ko para I can only hear the Zoom.
Alright.
Otherwise, I'll hear both.
I-ano ko na, i-admit all ko na, Gio.
Admit mo na. Sige. Oo, admit all. We have 11. Tapos there's another 10. Okay. Okay.
Yes, okay na ako.
Okay. My wife figured out for me how to not get distracted. So, i-mute ko lang pala yung YouTube ko para I can only hear the Zoom. Otherwise, naririnig ko pa rin, Joseph. Anyway. So, we have 15 in the call. We have 11. Tapos there's another 10. Okay. Can you hear that, Joseph?
Yes, oo.
That lag?
Oo.
Oh. Okay. Technical check lang. Tech check. May lag talaga. Naririnig mo yung salita ko.
I can hear you, pero kanina parang may echo.
May echo, di ba? Nawala na. Okay. 7 minutes to go before we start.
I don't know. Think about it.
Good afternoon, everyone. We'll just wait for another. We'll give some time for some other people to catch up. So we'll start around 5:35. Thank you. So a few announcements before we start. We'll be well. First of all, thank you for making it today, this afternoon, to join us in this wonderful talk of Dr. Bernie Villegas. We'll be starting in a while, but please, we'd like to ask everyone to mute themselves first, if possible. Okay, for those who haven't, and then also if you could rename yourself, as you can see in the chat box. Some reminders so that we could capture your names. If you're from Woodrose, your grade level, last name, first name. From Southridge, grade level, last name and first name. And if you're a friend, just put your first name, your last name and first name, please. So after this talk, we will be having a post-event survey. We highly encourage you to also please fill it up. It will be flashed in the chat box by Joseph. And we hope by doing this, we could get some information also from you in the future. So it's 5:35. We'll start. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to this talk this afternoon to be given by our guest speaker. So I'll share my screen now and give you a brief background on our speaker. Okay, so Dr. Bernardo Bernie Villegas, okay, he's a visiting professor of IESE Business School in Barcelona, Spain, and a professor of, sorry, at the University of Asia and the Pacific, a research director of the Center of Research and Communication in Manila. He got his PhD in economics in Harvard University in 1963 and is actually a CPA top-notcher as well. He has bachelor degrees in commerce and humanities, and he finished with both with summa cum laude, no, in DLSU. His special fields of study, as everyone or most of you probably know, is development economics, social economics, business economics, and strategic management. He's the author of several economic textbooks widely used in universities and schools. I myself used it actually. And the author of management bestsellers like The Philippine Advantage, Book of Virtues and Values, amongst others. 10 Outstanding Young Man awardee in 1972. He sits in the board of directors of Benguet Corp, Alaska Corp, Finma Property Holdings, AES, and Transnational Diversified. He was a past BOD member, board of directors member of BPI, Globe Telecom, Insular Life, McDonald's, IBM, and NGOs like Makati Business Club, Pilipinas Shell Foundation, Finma Foundation, Parents for Education Formation or PAREF, which most of us belong, and Dual Tech. He has served past five Philippine presidents in various economic advisor roles and is currently promoting investments in the Philippines under the Duterte administration. He has also served in the Pacific Board of Economics of Time Magazine and writes regularly for international and local newspapers such as the International Herald Tribune and Asian Wall Street Journal. Ladies and gentlemen, without much further ado, I give you Dr. Bernie Villegas. Doc, good
Yeah.
afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thank you very much. Good afternoon to all. I'm glad to have this opportunity to dialogue with parents of Woodrose and their friends. So I'm going to be very brief so that we can have a more animated open forum. I'm sure you have very wide interests about the economy. The first thing, and you'll be surprised because I have the reputation of being an optimist. For 2021, probably I'm the most pessimistic economic forecaster. I don't see how we can even hit the target of the government of 6% GDP growth. At most, we will grow at 4%, and most of that growth will come in the fourth quarter. Thanks to consumer spending that will be related to the usual Christmas period and to the beginning already of election spending. But for the first three quarters, we will continue to see negative GDP growth. As you know, last year our GDP dropped by 9.6%. And then in the first quarter, 4.2%. I think the second quarter would even be worse because in the second quarter where we had the worst lockdowns. And I'm afraid we have not seen the last of the lockdowns. It may no longer be in Metro Manila, but it is now in Iloilo, in Davao, in other areas. So to summarize, I'm not very optimistic about the short run, meaning the next 6 to 12 months. Our recovery will come late in 2022 when we can be close to having herd immunity. But the good news is that starting 2023, we will be among the fastest growing economies in East Asia and the rest of the world. Because as I'm going to show you, we have strong fundamentals that have not been in any way eroded by even the worst pandemic. And these strong fundamentals will help us bounce back quickly in 2023. In the meantime, those of you in business will have to know how to survive, to reboot, to reskill, to upskill, so that by the time the strong recovery will come in 2023, you will be ready with your respective strategic plans and operational plans. Okay, Jingo, let's take a look at the fundamentals I referred to.
Yes, Doc.
Please. The PPP, okay? The first strong fundamental we have is what I call our geographic dividend. We are right smack in the epicenter of what is now called as the Asian century. So let me remind you, the last century was referred to as the American century, when there was no doubt that the US was on top of the world, practically in every field, politically, economically, militarily. And America was challenged by Japan and the EU, but they never really succeeded in challenging the US economy's number one world power. In this century, the economic fulcrum has shifted to Asia. And that is why it's called the Asian century. And also made up of three competing economic territories: China, India, and the ASEAN Economic Community, especially led by the ASEAN 5 to which we belong. Let's take a look at the tables below. Just before the pandemic, the economies in the so-called American century were struggling to grow at 0.8% to 2.9%, compared to the way we, in the Asian century, were growing. The ASEAN average was 5.2, but those of you who have followed economic statistics know that we were above average. We were growing at 6 to 7%. India was growing at 7.3%. China had slowed down at 6.6%. If you take a look at the comparison, the economies of the Asian century are growing anywhere from 2 to 3 times faster than those of the American century. And there is no reason why this will not be repeated once things get back to normal, once the pandemic is put under control. US, Japan, Europe cannot go much beyond 3%. They already have very high per capita incomes, and most of them are suffering from demographic suicide. But they're aging so fast, and their workforce among the young is not sufficient. And actually, they already gives us a glimpse to a role that the Philippine economy will play in the coming years, when all those countries in Europe, Northeast Asia, are going to need so much manpower help from us, especially in the area of health and wellness. I will discuss that later on. So the first advantage we have that has not in any way been eroded by the pandemic, because it's geography, is that we are in the middle of the most dynamic region that has not been tainted with America first, Brexit, inward looking, anti globalization. In this region, we are still very much in favor of trading with one another, which is the source of growth. Obviously, we have to do something about our very low agricultural productivity so that we can take advantage of the need for food security among our neighbors. But that's one thing I will discuss later on. Next, please. I just wanted to remind you of what many of you in business, I'm sure, remember as BRIC. 10 to 15 years ago, people were talking about the next years being dominated by Brazil, Russia, India, and China. That's why BRIC was coined by a Goldman Sachs economist. Unfortunately, along the way, Brazil and Russia fell because they mismanaged their economies. People are no longer excited about Brazil and Russia as leading the way for emerging markets. But India and China remain, and we have been added. So it is India, China, and the ASEAN Economic Community. You may remember that 10 years ago, the BRIC leaders felt guilty that there was no African country, so they added, just for political correctness, South Africa. But if you take a look at the figures of South Africa, they're puny compared to the rest of us. And South Africa is also in trouble these days. Next, please. So the same economists from Goldman Sachs listed the next 11 emerging engines of growth for the next 10 to 20 years. And we are part of this magic 11. Together with Indonesia and Vietnam in Southeast Asia. It's interesting to note that among the 10 Southeast Asian countries, only VIP, Vietnam, Indonesia, and the Philippines are included because we have huge domestic markets. We are very rich in natural resources, both agricultural and mineral. And our government has made significant economic reforms in the last 10 to 12 years. And I'm going to discuss that as regards the Philippines. And so we are definitely among the most attractive emerging markets to investors, both domestic and foreign. Next, please. Just November 2019, just before the pandemic broke, one of the most prestigious think tanks in the world, Oxford Economics, listed the 10 leading emerging markets that will dominate the global economy in the next decade. And surprise, surprise, the Philippines is only number 2 to India. Indonesia is number 3, and China is number 4. And again, there's no reason why, if you take a 5 to 10 year horizon, this list will change. Why is China only number 4? But it's China right now that seems to be growing ahead of the rest. Because if you take a longer period of 10 years, China will fall because of very rapid that is now thanks to their policy and they will probably 30% can be over 60. Jingo, can you do something about? There's an echo.
Yes, Doc. Hang on for a while. I'll stop sharing lang. Sorry about that.